Good evening. Tonight on Midweek Sports Special, football action from the FA Cup. Norwich City against Spurs, and goal action from Derby County against the non-league club Telford. And boxing, it comes tonight from the Carrow Road, Norwich, where Norwich City face Tottenham in an FA Cup fourth-round replay. A wet East Anglian night, but the ingredients for quite a match. And don't forget those goals from Derby County against Telford. And as usual, a complete roundup of the night's sports news. Here are the other headlines now from Steve Ryder.
Well, some big names have survived tonight's fourth-round games. Ian Botham's Scunthorpe will be...
Get across to Carrow Road for that cup tie between Norwich and Spurs. The teams drew 0-0 at White Hart Lane on Saturday. It wasn't a very good game. This one more than makes up for it. Let's join our commentator there, Martin Tyler.
If you have to cross Glenn Hoddle off a team sheet, Ozzy Ardiles would be high on any list of replacements. And Ardiles, reinforced by extra training, is now sufficiently match fit to step into the breach caused by Hoddle's calf strain on Saturday. Spurs make one other change from that team. Chris Hughton regains the left-back spot from Mark Bowen. Steve Perryman is carrying an ankle injury, but he plays through the pain, the sort of attitude you'd expect from a man who's not missed any of the club's FA Cup matches in the last 14 years. Norwich City stick to the same lineup which contained Spurs at White Hart Lane. Number 7, John Devine, played in an FA Cup final for Arsenal, but in this side there's only one character who's been a winner in this competition, Mick Shannon with Southampton in 1976. But a more meaningful guide to his form is his winning goal when these two teams met here in the First Division in December. The referee, as on Saturday, is Joe Worrell from Warrington. He's officiating at Carrow Road for the first time. It's a wet night in East Anglia, but tremendous cup tie atmosphere here. Many Norwich fans remembering 25 years ago when Spurs were victims as Norwich, then in the third division, went on to reach the semi-finals. Spurs defend the goal to the right in the first half, and the first free kick for offside to be taken by Graham Roberts. For Tony Galvin. There was a heavy frost last night, so the ground in some places was quite hard and the water was laying on top of it. And Ardiles operating initially on the right-hand side of Tottenham's four in midfield. There's been a tactical switch from the first match, Gary Mabbott taking up a more central role in tonight's lineup. And here's Chris Hughton. Paul Miller. Steve Archibald, who will be disappointed that he missed some 3 chances on Saturday at White Hart Lane. Most of the openings in that match came Spurs' way. And Chris Wood's in trouble, well out of his goal, played back by Galvin. Harida's header out, trying to get some distance. The goalkeeper's repositioned. But an awkward moment for Chris Woods, who's been in commanding form in the Norwich City goal in recent matches. Norwich back 4. Stevens. A neat touch from Archibald, collected by Falco. And Devine again, just operating in the middle of midfield with defensive responsibilities. It's John Devine who towed it back to his goalkeeper. Birching, a good header down. Poor Dean. Took the deflection. Dennis Van Wyk to take the corner with the left foot. Watson on the near post. Archibald. And it's Tottenham's throw of Devine. Norwich reached the 6th round last season and then went out at Brighton. Tottenham, after those two successive wins in the FA Cup in 81 and 82. Were put out in the 5th round at Everton when they were looking for a hat-trick. One sense is this is an important night for Keith Birkinshaw and his players. The league form has been so inconsistent. They still, of course, have the UEFA Cup to look forward to. And Downs, unnecessarily giving away a corner. At times he does look a defender in too much of a hurry, and he certainly was then. Galvin to take it. Roberts and Miller poised to make a run at the back post. This time, though, it's played short for Ardiles. All the way back for Perriman. Tottenham now calling Galvin and then Mabbott, who has a long throw. But it goes short for Ardiles. Mabbott having to stretch. And another throw conceded by Van Wijk, the Dutchman. Perriman. Still tussling Steve Perriman. And Mabbott finding his way to the cause. Mendham's header out. Ardiles. Back header from Archibald. Falco. Galvin right in there. Put forward by Archibald and across the face of the goal. Norwich have numbers back. Maybe Galvin can find a way past them. And it's skimmed across to Woods' right. Sensibly played by Galvin towards the area by the far post. Shot come cross. Galvin stumbled past Greg Downs. He really was looking for someone perhaps to apply the final touch at the far post. Champ. Here's Ardiles. And Archibald checked out to the left and takes on Watson. And the ball in the end favoured the Norwich captain. Birchin trying to get beyond Roberts, who missed it. Miller was there as the second line of defence. Tottenham having one or two problems dealing with the long clearances from Woods. It was a neatly cushioned header there from Falco. And an advantage played by the referee. Mendham was late on Mabbott, and Mabbott returned the compliment. Here's Galvin. Haylock showing him the inside. Archibald. Now Houghton. Into the feet of Falco. Houghton again. And Norwich have left Galvin. Mabbott waiting beyond the far post. Roberts. He's got the strength to get past Van Wijk. Drops from Roberts and just floated away from Archibald. Always sensing where the centre of the action might be. Cute. Archibald waiting in the middle. Ardiles. The 1-2 with Falco, and Ardiles goes on. Away by Harida, only back where it came from. And Watson unsure where the ball had rolled to after the challenge from Galvin. Now Van Wijk. Birchin breaking ahead of him. Cut out initially by Gary Stevens. And the problems there for the Norwich front players, particularly Keith Birchin, was to stay onside. Well, Tottenham will be pleased with the appetite shown by Ossie Ardiles in the opening quarter of an hour. Just a little casual at the back between Miller and Roberts. Miller raised an arm to acknowledge his error. Ardiles again. Well, Tottenham were trying to pin him down to a role on the right-hand side, but his sense of adventure is carrying him across the midfield at the moment. Guided with great deliberation, but there was no one waiting on the Norwich right. Divine. Parks knows that Ray Clements might well be fit to have a game in one of the Tottenham teams this weekend. Houghton, and it was fortunate for Tottenham that it went to Ardiles. Archibald, now Mabbutt, and the referee choosing to call a halt and book John Devine, as indeed he did on Saturday, for a blatantly late challenge on Mabbutt. The incident coming as the ball broke loose. Mabbutt got to it, and then Devine got Mabbutt. Harry Mabbutt, who's had a season that's been decimated by injuries. And he joins the end of the wall. Now, what can Tottenham come up with here? It's Ardiles. It's certainly a measure of his confidence on his return to the first team. But he wanted to take the free kick, really waved others away. And that's the conditions that the players are labouring under. A real deluge. Rain has been falling since early afternoon. And Shannon's back pass wouldn't have reached Woods. Archibald would have intercepted. And it was important for Norwich that Watson intervened. Shannon. Stayed in play off Galvin. Tidied up by Roberts. And it's Norwich's turn to use the offside ploy. And both sets of defences really compressing the game into midfield. Watson went then with the free kick. Dean. Mendham going on past Roberts. And Van Wyk. The player, they say, doesn't score enough goals. But Dennis Van Wyk wrapped his left foot round that one. And 8 minutes from half-time, Norwich find themselves in front. It really was a loose ball that came his way, but he thumped it into the roof of the net. It was Mendham's first run, and then Parks was totally beaten. Norwich City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Dennis Van Wyk's first goal of the season. And it's really just what this tie has needed. A rather stilted match at White Hart Lane, and a cautious beginning here. As the Dutchman celebrates, a Norwegian is down injured. And Ryder will limp on. And there's a new buzz about Carrow Road now. Barely a shot in anger in the opening 38 minutes until Dennis Van Wyk pulled the trigger. Ardiles. Interception from Downs. And Dean is away. And past Miller. Shannon in the middle. Mendham has joined in. Will it come for Shannon? Mick Shannon, 2-0, and the wheel of triumph brings extra jubilation here. It's his 250th goal in senior club football. Norwich have scored twice in 3 minutes and turned this tie their way. But John Dean was at the heart of this move, breaking from the halfway line, and the ball favoured Shannon as he challenged with great purpose and recovered his balance to stick it past Parks. And Dean had particularly left Paul Miller earlier in the move, and Shannon, who will laugh and tell you that he's got a terrible habit, he can't stop scoring goals. Norwich City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. But Tony Parks really had had nothing to do for so long in this first half, beaten now twice. The 2-goal burst for Norwich City, coming at the end of a first half that started really without any great promise. But then Dennis Van Wyk striking home the loose ball with such power, getting Norwich into the groove, and Mick Shannon adding a second 3 minutes later. Half-time at Carrow Road, it's Norwich City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Norwich City have never lost an FA Cup tie against Tottenham Hotspur, and they start the second half very much in the pole position here, leading by 2-0, having accepted really the only 2 chances that have come their way. Mabbutt with an early strike at goal for Tottenham in the second half. An optimistic appeal for handball as it struck Watson on the thigh. And Watson has to come across again to slide the ball out for a corner as Newton made progress. Just a momentary delay to Chris Hughton, which has Keith Birkinshaw looking a little worried from the Tottenham bench. Worried he must be. Roberts. Falco, 2-1. Just what Tottenham wanted at the start of the second half. On my watch, 75 seconds. Falco didn't collect cleanly, that's for sure. He left Wood stranded. Roberts made an important challenge here. It dropped for Falco, who swung the left foot at it, and it bobbled into the corner. The initial ball in came from Galvin. Roberts beating Watson. Falco 2-1. Mark Falco's 14th of the season. Shannon. Ball by Roberts. Came off Stevens. Now Van Wyk. Can he use that left foot to good effect again? He's got a corner. Taken by Mendham. And Parks pouring it away. Collected by Ardiles. Possibilities here for a break. With Galvin. Archibald is up with him. Galvin against Haylock. And Woods had to hang on with Archibald following in. And the newfound optimism in Spurs' hearts shown by Galvin's run. It's a real cup-tie chant from the Tottenham fans, calling for their side to go marching in again. But here's Haylock for Norwich, stopped by Roberts. One back for Norwich by Shannon, and then it ended painfully for him. Brought down by Houghton. And Joe Worrell, who booked 4 players on Saturday, books a second tonight. Chris Houghton's name is recorded. Dean signalling that he would quite like it to come his way. Birchin. Abbott slipped. Mendham was biting in there in characteristic fashion with a foot raised. Graham Roberts carrying the ball forward here for Tottenham. And he's certainly a man who doesn't hide in a crisis. It was significant that he played a part in the goal that Tottenham so badly needed at the start of the second half. Archibald, has he got the pace here? Woods is there first. Birchin, good jump from him. And Dean, the linesman is flagging, even though the ball almost away through for Shannon and Birchin. The second, Birchin and Roberts, 2 big men, squared up to each other in the heat of the battle. The spark of temper quickly went away again. Gary Stevens. Roberts. Tottenham have got to take a chance or two, as Roberts did then. Fortune in the end favoured him. Perryman. Dean, offside, it must have been close. Shannon on the far side is furious. Birchin will receive Dean's pass as the player in the offside position. The linesman incurring the wrath of the home supporters. Archibald, Falco. Shannon plotted the trajectory well. And now Roberts trying to keep the ball in play with a back pass. He succeeded in knocking it out for a throw nearer to his own goal. Peter Mendham to take it. Shannon to twist and turn to try and make some space for Dean behind him. And Dean can turn. And Perryman using all his experience with that little cushion header back to the goalkeeper. defenders that have shirked that responsibility. Archibald. Roberts used an arm Shannon felt. May have been unintentional. Not easy to see from this angle as Roberts turned. Harida. Here's Miller. And Ardiles saying, let me have it. Divine. And another of those long raking passes, and Shannon is in the clear here. Mick Shannon. He wants a corner. And really, he will know that he could have put the tie here beyond Tottenham's reach. Parks didn't commit himself. And the back got a hand to it, it seemed, although the decision was a goal kick. And it's Ardiles furthest forward for Tottenham then. Miller, Mabbutt in strongly. It really is what the cup is all about. And it comes for Archibald. And now Falco. Falco's cross. And put wide beyond the far post by Galvin. Falco's cross went over Miller, and Galvin with a side foot chance that could have pulled Tottenham level. Certainly that miss of Galvin's a warning to Norwich how brittle their lead is at the moment. Here is Galvin. And Roberts coming in behind Harida, who just made enough contact to divert the ball away from Roberts, but to concede a corner. And such is Roberts' enthusiasm that he's gone across to take it himself. And maybe this is an unrehearsed one. Roberts thumps it into the middle. And a punch away from Woods after an awkward deflection. Falco. Anywhere will do for Dave Watson. Van Wyk. Tottenham keep the pressure on. Stevens. If Keith Birkinshaw's side are going out, it's not without a tremendous fight. And Nick Hazard is waiting to come on. Here's Downs, a miscue from Roberts. And Dean! That was the original snapshot as the ball broke loose off Miller. And Tottenham now make their substitution. And what a gamble this is, because it's Mark Falco who scored their goal who comes off. And Nick Hazard, a midfield player, asked to try and pull this tie out of the fire. He's had a dramatic impact on one or two of Tottenham's FA Cup exploits in the past as a substitute. And there are 10 minutes left. Galvin. Hazard's first touch. Goal kick. Galvin rather slid into the ball and it went behind off his momentum. And the Norwich manager, Ken Brown, just behind the linesman doing the pointing, come down to the bench to try and urge his side through this last 10 minutes. And it's expressions of anxiety on the Tottenham bench. shoot. Here's Mabbott. Kept in play by Gary Stevens. Ardiles. He's found Perryman. Hasn't let it run. Roberts! If anyone deserved an equaliser, it was this man. He timed his move forward well, and one touch on the chest. The second touch was a thumping right-footed shot that went just over. Steve Perryman, who's twice collected the FA Cup, but it looks as though it won't be his year this year. Here's Van Wyk, who started it all off, and enough sting in the shot to trouble Parks. Perryman. Archibald. Foul by Devine on Ardiles. Perryman waiting for Miller to join Stevens at the far post. Roberts, of course, is there. Wood stays on his line, and just as well he did, because Roberts glanced the ball inside that post, but Woods made sure it didn't cross the line. Roberts getting up well, and Woods in the right spot for Norwich. Mabbott. It's Norwich's throw. Gasps of relief around Carrow Road. Shannon. Running it to the corner. He knows that will do. Use up a few more seconds. There'll be no one in a hurry to take this throw for Norwich. Shannon collects. It's another Norwich throw. And the canary yellow and green scarves very much on display. Final whistle. Carrow Road has staged another spirited FA Cup performance by Norwich City, who are through to the fifth round. They've beaten Tottenham Hotspur 2-1. Their scorers, a player who has trouble scoring goals, Dennis Van Wyk, one he'll never forget, and a player who's been scoring them for years, Mick Shannon, with what turned out to be the winner, Mark Falco pulling one back for Tottenham 75 seconds into the second half. So another of the First Division elite goes out, and Tottenham have once again found Norwich their bogey side. And in this most open of competitions, Norwich might well feel that they now have their best ever chance of getting